All right, guys. For the game, we got Oren Burks will be questionable and Kalia Davis questionable. Go ahead.
So that's pretty good news on Deebo. What does it mean just to have him not, be a factor as far as the injury report?
It's huge. I mean, a little scary at the beginning of the week, but the fact he was able to go full go today and no restrictions on him is definitely a good thing for us.
What are the injuries with Burks?
Burks had a collision yesterday, so he's got a shoulder.
What are you seeing there? Excuse me, running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Are there any similarities to Christian just with the traits and the size and all those things?
Yeah, I mean, they're both really good backs. I mean, he's a rookie in this league, but everyone knew him coming out of college how good he was going to be. He's just getting started. He's going to have a hell of a career. The speed he has is as good as anyone's. But he also run hard, can make the cuts, and he's got another good back to pair with him.
Was Deebo, was it just a pain tolerance thing, just waiting for pain to go away kind of thing?
Yes, yeah.
What did you learn from Brock on Saturday?
Nothing that we don't already know. I mean, thought it did enough to win us that game. It was a stud at the end, especially on that final drive, and same guy he's been every day.
Coach, in December you said about Brock that, and also other players, that you'd rather have a player that's hard on themselves than the other way around. I'm curious, how do you assess yourself? Like, how hard are you on yourself?
You should probably ask people who know me well, but I think I'm pretty hard.
Have you had people that know you say, I think you're too hard on yourself?
Yeah, I think if you're not hard on yourself, it's kind of hard to put in the work and stuff that it takes, I think, to be an NFL coach. And I think most of us are pretty hard on ourselves. We're kind of perfectionists because it's kind of, how hard it is to win games for everybody. So you demand a lot out of everybody, just like you demand a lot out of yourself. So it's a very fine line in winning and losing. So you question every single thing, every single moment, and that always starts with yourself.
We won't talk to you, Kyle, until the end of the game. What are the final 48 hours before the game like for you?
Usually the final 48 hours are a lot better than the first 48 hours. It gets more relaxing as the week goes. You feel more prepared. You always start out the week stressed out. Right? You pull on tape. There's a lot to absorb in. I think always when you can do the best is you start out a week with a fear to fail. That's always what gets you to work and put in the stuff. And you want that to be natural, that you can make that go away. And usually by the work you put in, the plan you put together, watching the players do it, going through the practice, getting to know another team. Usually by the time you get to this time, which after this we consider kind of our weekend because we get out of here about 3 hours. And it's a lot more relaxing. You catch up on sleep, you get ready for a Saturday night meeting tomorrow, and usually watch a movie Saturday night before you go to bed, and you wake up and it's on. And it's something you've been getting ready for, and you're ready for it by Sunday.
Will Deebo return kickoffs?
I don't know. We haven't thought about that yet.
We haven't considered that.
He might. Yeah.
Does he have any sort of limitations at all?
No, none.
Does he risk further, damaging the shoulder if he plays?
No.
Is it a shoulder bruise?
I don't know. I don't ask questions like that.
I'm not very curious.
Not at all. Then I'd have to be lying now. It's real easy for me when I don't know.
Given how you said on Wednesday that you were feeling better about potentially his status, were you able to kind of treat the game plan normally, with his involvement?
Yeah, you got to always have contingencies, but just talking to him how he felt Monday compared to Saturday. And, he had shoulder stuff earlier in the year and comparing it to then and the difference. And by the time how he felt Wednesday, so, we were real worried right after the game because he couldn't go back in and couldn't finish that, which is always concerned. But you get the medical reports and that it is possible. Just depends on the pain tolerance and how it heals. And he had a great practice yesterday, and then by today, he's full go and stuff. So kind of out of sight, out of mind right now.
Coach, having gone through this game 3 years in a row, four times in the last 5 years, are there notes you write yourself during the week to remind yourself on game day not to forget, whether it's plays or just a message you want to convey to your team?
Yes, but not really based off of previous experiences. That's off of what you think's happening right now. So it's you never stop thinking about the situations from when you know who you're playing to when the game's over. It never stops. Everything's adjusting. That's kind of how a game is. It's how a week is. You never know how a game's going to unfold. You prepare for everything possible, and then that kickoff starts, and you're sitting there with a clear mind, ready to react. And And that's why I like when it doesn't rain, so I can make notes on my call sheet and then not get smear. That's my biggest problem with the rain. But yeah, you make notes all the time for yourself.
Coach, wanted to ask you about Alfredo Gutierrez, our Mexican player. Your thoughts on Alfredo, and also Isaac Alarcón, who is coming to the team.
What's that?
Isaac Alarcón,
Yeah.
who's coming to the team, and also Alfredo. Just your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I love Fredo. It's been awesome. You know, you never know how it's going to be when you get that extra player. But to get a guy of Fredo's size and stuff like that, it's been great to be able to use him and things. I think he's gotten a lot better since he's been here. And he's an awesome dude. Guys love him. For Christmas, he got me a Mexican bottle of tequila with a real scorpion in it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Isaac Alarcón, who is coming to the team.
I don't know yet, so I'm looking forward to getting to know him.
Non-game question. Raheem Morris, head coach, Falcons. What kind of your thoughts on him getting that opportunity?
Oh, it's way past due. Raheem's one of the best coaches I've been with. I got to work with him earlier in my career in Tampa. Always was trying to, when I was young, trying to get my dad to hire him as a D coordinator, and he ended up becoming a head coach so fast. And then I got a chance to work with him in Washington. And then Atlanta, he actually was on defense. He got to come work with me on offense for a year, and was as good of a coach. The fact that he was on defense his whole career and can come be our receiver coach was unbelievable. How cool he was, how good he did. Always tried to get him here every single year. But Raheem's been one of the best, and he's going to a hell of an organization, a good situation with good people, and really happy for Atlanta that they got him, and more than happy for Raheem.
What happened with Clelin Ferrell? I don't think we had a chance to ask you about that when you put him on IR. You thought at first he might be able to come back?
Yeah, we were trying to, and there's always a risk with it. But you got to weigh in those percentages and stuff, and we tried to give him as long to wait as we could before we went through and got a surgery for him. We were thinking it, but he wanted to wait at first because everybody wants a chance to can we win this game and him have a chance to be ready in 2 weeks if that happens. But when we just looked into it and all the scenarios, it wasn't the best thing for him, and would have been too much risk and really wasn't worth that risk. So we had to go through the surgery.
How would you assess his contributions, and what's he missed in the playoff game?
Definitely. Cleve's been awesome this year. I think the way he plays the run, the way he runs to the ball, Cleve's been a very good ad for us on defense, and we really appreciate him. Wish he was still here with us, but I mean, he's still here with us. I still wish he was playing with us, and I know he does too, but the guys love Clee and as a person, but he's been really good for us this year.
What's your final message to the team?
I'll tell him that tomorrow night, but it won't be anything magical. It won't be anything I mean, our guys are ready for the moment. We'll say a few things tomorrow night, which is always extremely overrated, and we'll get to bed and we'll get up ready to go.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks.
How much work was it for you to just get yourself physically ready for this game?
Bro, it's like right when I figured out it wasn't the same thing as the Browns game, it was kind of a relief because I know it wasn't a fracture. It was just like a deep bruise or whatever, but I'm talking about timeless hours in here day in and day out just to get where we at right now.
You seem in pretty good spirits all week long. Is that a reflection of your confidence that you'd probably be able to go
sure. I got all the confidence in the world, and, I want to give credit to our physical therapists in there, Ben, Little, and Donahue for, just to get me right where we need to be.
Can you explain what kind of pain you were dealing with and then how it maybe subsided as the week's gone on here?
At the time, it was hurting like really bad. I was kind of scared a little bit. Like, I thought I had fractured it again, and I was just all over the place then. In a big game like that, like, I had millions of emotions on the sideline trying to kind of hold them together for my team. And, just to see them get the dub and stuff, I mean, that was kind of relief as well, just to know I have an extra week just to figure out what was going on. And we went and got an MRI and everything showed up negative, and it was just a deep bruise. And it was kind of painful at the time, but as the week on, like I just said, them doing a good job getting all the pain away, getting all my motion and strength back, and I feel like they did an outstanding job.
You play as physically as you do, but still trying to protect yourself.
I ain't protecting nothing.
What does it say about your team and the way they were able to come back in your absence?
Oh, that was amazing with how the game was going. Every game has its ups and downs, and you got all the naysayers about Brock this, Brock that, this, that, and the third. But when Brock best was needed, he went out there and capitalized on the long drive. The receivers going out there making plays, Kittle from Christian, and it all started with the O-line, and they just went out there and did what they were supposed to do.
What do you respect about the Lions?
Say it again?
Respect about the Lions.
They're winning. They playing good ball, and they made it this far. So obviously they're a good team, but everything got to run through Levi's.
You've been on this stage so many
I
times.
can answer 2 questions at one time.
You've been on this stage so many times in the NFC Championship game. How important is it for you to break through, and how much did that play a factor this week? Like, I got to get back from this one.
With a game like this, like got to put everything on the line because we've been here for the last 5 years, and 3 years we fell short, and then 1 year we fell short of the Super Bowl. It's kind of like, what is it going to take? And I feel like we got all the things that we need in this building, from Jed, John, to Cal, to all the players. So I feel like it's all hands on deck, and we know what's at stake.
Did you learn anything from Brock on Saturday night?
Not really, because I've been around him for 2 years now. I feel like forever, but he's never like uptight, or the moment is never too big for him. He's always poised, cool. Even though I wasn't in the huddle, like I can see it, and I can see like how the guys are reacting to the things that he's saying. But with Brock being the commander of the huddle, like you have no choice but to listen and just follow his lead, and he went out there and did a great job.
Deebo, what's more stressful, being on the field when the game is on the line or being on the sideline watching?
Nah, being on the sideline was different, because it's like you can't do like nothing you can do besides encourage your teammates and just try to give them all the energy and all the everything they need to win. So I think it's more stressful just standing there watching, for sure.
How do you control your emotions when you got a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who you guys have had that back and forth on social media?
He just got to come in and strap it up.
You say about Jawan Jennings' contribution when you went out. He came in, made big catches. He blocked the guy to the Gatorade.
That's just what we see from Jawan, like day in and day out, like throughout camp. And it's only a matter of time. We call it third and Jawan. Most of the time we're going to Jawan on third down. But I wasn't shocked at all with the plays that he made and the things that he's capable of doing. Because I can go back to college when we played him. When I was in college, we played him every year, and just seeing how he developed from then and now is just amazing.
Deebo, what feels different about this NFC Championship run versus the other 3 you've been a part of?
Kind of feel different because we got home field advantage. 2019 we had the home field advantage, we won, and 21, 22 we on the road, backs against the wall, and it's still against the wall right now because we got a great team coming in, and just got to be prepared for everything. Just hopefully we come out on top.
What's the key to the game, Deebo?
Do what we've been doing all year long. Sustain drives, not turning the ball over, converting on third down. Defense being our defense for us, like being physical and then going out there and getting turnovers.
Does it feel different because you might have missed it because of the injury and now you won't?
You said might. I'm not missing it.
Going to the combine over the last couple of years, you hear a lot of players say that they model their game after you and just the way you play and the bully mentality. Do you kind of see a little bit of yourself in Amon-Ra St. Brown and maybe how you've impacted that next generation of receivers?
Honestly, no offense to Amon St. Brown, he's a great player, but we don't too much as an offensive player. We don't really pay too much about the other offense. It's all about what we can do and how we're going to attack their defense, just like they plan on attacking ours.
That's good. Thanks, Deebo. Thank you. Eric, how were you feeling after the game? Did you feel better than you might?
Feel great. Excited to get back out there and get a win and earn another week with my team. So feeling good going into this game.
How's this game different than the other 3 games, NFC Championship games, for you?
Everything. It's a new season, new team. Really don't compare the others. Each season is a new journey, so it's just another step on our journey for the 2023 season.
What do you see from the run game, especially when they use Montgomery? How physical they like to be?
Great at running the ball. Have had a lot of success. They have 2 different styles of backs, which opens up their playbook for them. With Gibbs, they have, a lot of design runs for him, and then also with Montgomery, they have some different runs for him. He's more of a power back, but they do a great job, and they have a great O-line, and so it's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Arik, you're one of the only guys on the team that was here before Shanahan came. I'm curious what you remember about his arrival and kind of how he communicated his vision for the team at the time.
Yeah, it was when he came. You know, he brought a new energy, a new sense of urgency, and definitely was a change in the culture. Was a lot of hard work, and you know, everyone was trying to prove that we deserved to be here. You know, when they got here, and so it was a new energy around the building, and it was good though. We had instantly when he came in, he talked about building a brotherhood and how the best teams are the closest teams, and how we have to treat one another. And we put a lot of hard work in to get us to this point where we've got to turn around and winning a bunch of football games.
You played shared golf quite a few times over the years. How has he evolved? How is he different than when he was with the Rams?
I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty similar in terms of the player that he is. I think he was a good player when he was with the Rams as well too. I think that whenever as you continue to get older and you go through more experiences in your career, of course you get wiser and you get hardened, and I'm sure that situation of him leaving LA had a big impact on his career as a player and mindset and all those different types of things. And so in terms of like football, just being a football player though, I think he's been a great quarterback in this league, which he continues to show. So.
Arik, I wonder about the battle that Coach Holland is going through. How does that kind of inspire you and inspire your teammates?
It's always been inspiring, for us throughout these years. He's a great energy around the building and a big part of our success. And, he's also takes the time out to talk to us and, mentor us about, football and stuff off the field too. So I would consider we have a great relationship, and it's been great having him here and having a man like that who, has played in the league, had a lot of similar experiences as us, fighting through adversity. He's on the coaching side now, and a lot we can learn from him. So definitely a huge blessing to have him, be a part of our staff.
I think some of us, maybe many of us, watch too much movies and think tomorrow night's speech from Coach was going to be a big rah-rah speech. He said it's really not like that. You guys not need that type of motivation?
Yeah, if you got to get motivated to play an NFC Championship, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Everything's on the line. Everything you work so hard for to, earn the right to extend your season and go to the Super Bowl. So I don't think guys need too much motivation.
What's your routine like in the final 48 hours before a game like this?
Routine's the same. Try to get some rest. Take care of my body, wake up in the morning, get moving around, head over to the stadium early, get moving around, get treatment, finishing up on some last film or, reviewing my assignments, and then, getting my mind right to take the field.
You saw Deebo, he's 100% good to go. How does his presence change the locker room on game day, and then a game like Sunday specifically?
Deebo is one of the best players in the league, and so having him on our team and having him on the field, we feel his energy when he's making plays. He's inspiring us on defense as well too, because of how he plays his position and delivering punishment to opposing defenses. So having him out there is going to be great.
A couple more, Craig.
Is there a game this season, and maybe it was the last game, but where you were just really proud of the way the team kind of came back, whether it's from a loss the week before or anything like that?
I think there's been a lot of ups and downs, throughout this year, just like with any season. I think everybody thought the sky was falling when we lost 3 in a row, and we responded pretty well to that. We got beat Christmas game in front of the world. How we responded to that, to be in this position. So, I mean, there's always ups and downs throughout the season. I know that we have a resilient group that starts with our culture and our foundation, and we just play football. We love playing football, and no matter what happens, we're going to keep going.
Anything else? Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Brock, when it comes to trying to diagnose when the Lions are going to be bringing pressure, what kind of distinguishes them, how they do it, as opposed to some other teams you might face?
Yeah, they do a good job, I think, of sort of holding it and disguising it. There's a lot of looks where it looks like it's just a base coverage, and all of a sudden they're bringing guys from different directions and stuff. When they do blitz, like they have certain coverages that are behind their blitzes, but like I said, they do a good job with bringing different guys and sort of holding their water and not showing it. So I think that's the difference, really. Across the year, other teams will sort of have some tips and clues and stuff, but I think these guys do a pretty good job of sort of switching it up and making it hard for the quarterback to recognize it. So it'll be a good challenge.
Why do you feel you and the offense have done well against the blitz this year?
I feel like we usually go into it having a good plan, and so the minute they do it, and if we're on it, I think it's sort of like a high risk, high reward kind of thing for both sides. If we're ready and have a good plan for it, all it takes is like a 5-yard throw or something, and we could turn it into a big gain. They're a couple guys short, so we've gone into games where defenses that blitz a lot, we usually have a good plan for it. So, but that's just the receivers and myself, being on top of it, and when they give us those opportunities, we got to be ready for it. And if we're not ready for it, then we can get exposed. So
this is your first year as starter. You led this team to 2 NFC Championship games. You're a finalist for the MVP. What does that tell you about yourself?
Man, I've just been taking it one day at a time. Since last year, once I stepped into the role, for me, it's never been about all the hype and the glory and all that kind of stuff. It's been about how can I help this team win. And, I have a really good squad around me, and they've helped me get to where I'm at with my game and helped me get better. And so, here we are, second year in a row in the NFC Championship. Very thankful for it, but obviously we have a bigger goal in mind, and we have to handle business this Sunday. So that's where my mind is at with that.
What kind of emotional boost does it give the team that Deebo is good to go?
Yeah, it's huge for us. Deebo's a game changer. He's one of the best in the NFL at what he does. So obviously for him to be able to play, all of us are like, all right, Deebo brings some juice and energy, and we got his back. And so obviously seeing him run around at practice and look good, for us, it's like, all right, it's on. So we're excited for him.
What kind of emotions or confidence did you get from rewatching the film of the last drive?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the season sort of it's on the line. That was probably our last drive that we were going to have in that game, and so all of us, like when you're watching the film, you can just tell like everyone's on top of their stuff. Everyone's detailed in every move, from the O-line and their pass sets to the receivers running to their landmarks and getting to where they need to be, and then obviously making smart decisions and not forcing anything. So you could just tell there was a lot on the line, and I think we played our best ball in that moment. So it was encouraging watching for all of us, and just got to keep building and carry that into this game.
Brock, how did you talked about on Wednesday, maybe not getting to the checkdowns the way you wanted to early in that game, and then in that last drive you did. What caused that kind of realization, or for you to actually execute that?
Yeah, I feel like there's times in the game where it's like you're aggressive and you can think that there's a window there and make a play. Where in that moment it was okay. Obviously every decision is on the line here. So obviously just go through what the coaches have taught all the quarterbacks and be smart. Not that you're going to be timid and conservative, but if the defense isn't running what we're looking for, then obviously take the check down. And I feel like during the game it was like sort of looking for a big play periodically. So definitely was playing with some conviction on that last drive, and I think it obviously went well if I had that same mindset. So something that I looked at in the film and learned from it. So it was good.
Did you learn anything about yourself on that last drive, or self-correcting in the game like that?
I think just obviously in that moment, it's everyone makes it a big deal, like okay, this could be it. But for me, it was like, man, it's football. It's It's 11 on 11. I got dudes around me that are really good. They're going to do their job well. I got to do my job, and let's go execute, put a drive together. So keeping it simple in a sense is what I took away from it.
What do the next 48 hours look like for you?
I mean, the same as really this whole year, just in terms of going through my process on a Friday night, Saturday morning, come here for a walkthrough Saturday, and continue to study the plays and everything. But at the same time, keep it simple. All year I've had a process in how I handle my stuff and how I get ready for a game, and I try not to overcomplicate things. And so, other than that, I'm going to just go into this game just like I have all year. So I'm excited for it.
You superstitious at all? Do you eat the same food every Friday or anything like that?
I have a routine, but I wouldn't say I'm suspicious. So, yeah.
Brock, hearing you talk about like making those decisions in the moment, you could kind of say the same about the play calling and like what that is like. Do you ever talk with Coach about that, the similarities between him calling plays and making those decisions and, trying to stay prepared, use his preparation? Do you talk about like that, the similarities between coaching and quarterbacking in that way at all?
Yeah. I think throughout the week he does a really good job with just explaining why he's calling plays, what we're trying to attack, sort of, how we feel about plays. He always asks us like how we're feeling about it and if we're confident in running it. So he does a good job with that. And then honestly, when he asks me like what I'm thinking in certain situations and stuff, I tell him, and I tell him exactly what I was thinking in the game and moving forward, how I'm feeling about stuff. So we're on the same page a lot of the times about a lot of things. And for him, like he does a good job, like I said, with making sure that we're all comfortable with running what he's calling. All of us, not just the quarterbacks, but players in general. So we all want to play for him. He does a great job with staying on the same level as us and explaining what we're attacking and what we're trying to do. So he's done a good job with that. I think he's one of the best in the league at doing it, and we've seen it for a while. So.
How much do you think your experience in college, playing 4 years and some big games on the road and being asked to carry an offense, prepared you for coming into this and playing in games and circumstances like this?
Yeah, I think it was good, man, to play 4 years of college ball and, like you said, go and play in different environments and stages and levels of the games being on a higher level. So for me, I took a lot away from those kind of games. I think it helped sort of build me into who I am. Just in terms of finding out what I do good and what I don't and how it can be better. So I definitely remember a lot of games where I feel like it was a high stake game and how I performed and so I can sort of go back to those experiences and remember like, man, I should have done this better, or I remember I did do that well. So for this game, NFC Championship, I want to keep it simple, not blowing it out of proportion in my mind or anything, but at the same time, sort of have some juice because, like, man, this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, got to be excited about that more than anything, too.
Can you feel or do you know how much confidence your teammates have in you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all year, they've been the same guys in the locker room. They've believed in me since I've stepped in, since last year. And throughout the year, I feel like I've grown and we've all grown together. So, definitely blessed to have these guys in the locker room with me, and they definitely have my back, and through the good and the bad. We've been through some stuff this year, and it hasn't all been pretty. There's been some good times, there's been some tough times, but through it all, man, these guys have continued to have my back and show love, and we go to war together. So very thankful for them.
What do you remember from David Montgomery back in college, and did you give any input to the defense at all about what kind of guy he is?
Yeah. I mean, David was one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. That's the kind of guy that just doesn't go down easy. He's always moving his feet, explosive, great quick cuts. And this week I haven't really been able to talk to my defense about that. I mean, they've seen him, I think, a lot just the last couple of years when he was in Chicago, so they know who he is. But, yeah, I have nothing but love and respect for David and what he's done, and it's a tough dude to get to. Like, he's mentally strong, he's tough, he's physical. And, it's going to be a good challenge to go up against him again.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.